Tuesday at 4 o'clock, and it's time to see who has climbed to new heights.
Bro, look at this guy.
Pun intended. Hold on, I gotta get the prop where it's supposed to go. In the iciest quarterback ranking in all of sports media, grab your sunglasses, it's for the glare. Let's head to Mahomes Mountain.
Thank you, as always, Kevin Wilds,
it.
for the brilliant introduction. Thank you to our set design team for shipping in this snow from the peaks of Nepal. Now, what, Wilds?
Chilly.
Do you want these?
I feel like I'm in Cleveland.
The sunglasses? No, I'll let you keep those.
I like those.
So, a little update. Base camp has become too crowded.
Oh, no.
They're out of lodging.
Oh, wow.
And because of that, if you have been benched by your team or suffered a long-term injury, we've politely asked you leave base camp. You can come back at some point, but there's no more room at base camp. And also because of base camp was so crowded, we have a lot of new people to the mountain because last week level 6 was vacant. This week it is not.
Oh.
So a lot of people moving up, not that many people moving down this week.
Right.
Level 7, let's reveal. Bunch of guys trying to climb again. Jordan Love, a lot of people thought he'd never make it to the mountain again. He did. Gardner Minshew, Taylor Heineke, Aiden O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell's the head coach. Aiden O'Connell conducted himself quite well and then smoked a victory cigar. Obviously, Russ was off this week, and Will Levis had an okay game on Thursday night. He stays where he is. Level 6. Sadly, Geno has to slip a bit. It was a rough week for Geno Smith. Brew has been calling him a pumpkin since well before people were drinking those spiced lattes he loves so much. However, he did have a rough week against Brew's beloved Baltimore Ravens. Brock Purdy and Sam Howell and Matt Stafford and Kenny Pickett all move up. Brock Purdy didn't play, but again, we said level 6 was vacant last week. Sam Howell played quite well.
Yeah, he did.
Matt Stafford, you're like, why did he move up? He's hurt. Because we saw the Rams without him. And I got to tell you, you know what? I think Matt Stafford deserves a little bit of credit. And Kenny Pickett, he is just really bad for 3 quarters. And then he's really good for the 4th quarter. His statistically and eye test wise, he makes big throws late in games, so he moves up a bit. All right, level 5. Shout out Baker and really shout out Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
Josh Dobbs, who's been on a half dozen teams, moved around, learning new playbooks, studying new cadences, also a rocket scientist, really cool guy, gave me a business card that said NFL quarterback when he was a rookie. I like the guy. He is succeeding. Justin Herbert, man, it was ripe for the taking to move up. Well, we thought you were going to move up, but 130 yards isn't going to get it done. Derek Carr is close to moving up. And Caleb, listen, you know what they said when you signed up to play with Lincoln Riley? If you can't score 60 points, you can't win big games, so he stays just where he is. Level 4, Jalen slips a bit. So here's the thing.
What?
Here's the thing. Jalen is playing admirably, and Jalen is playing through an injury. But as anyone who's ever climbed a mountain with a bulky knee, you might slip a bit at times. And Jalen Hurts, while we are impressed by his grit and his toughness, he is clearly limited in some of the things he's able to do because of the knee. Jared Goff off this week. Josh Allen stays where he is, as does Tua. You might say, why didn't those guys slip after their performances this week? Because the Mountain knew who they were, and that's right where they need to be. They're right in the latter half of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. Now to the top 6. Lamar stays where he is. Lamar is in a rough spot because they didn't need him to do much this week. You feel like he could have had a better statistical week, but you certainly can't penalize him. The Prince had the week off, and Dak, I thought, was exceptional this past week, so he moves up. He and Jalen flip-flop spots. I know that will be controversial for some. I thought Dak was outstanding. And then, the biggest riser, C.J. Stroud. Now, again, we don't know that C.J. will stay in that spot. It should be noted these two level 2 guys play each other this week in a sneaky, fun Bengals-Texans game that nobody thought was going, you had circled before the season began. But what C.J. Stroud has done, whenever you hear a team or an organization be like, we need 4 years to get it together. Oh, he doesn't have enough weapons. Oh, he doesn't have enough pieces. Well, C.J. Stroud says, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, rookie head coach, doesn't matter. All go ball out. And so, yes, I understand, Coach, maybe getting a little ahead of ourselves a bit. But I am wildly impressed by what C.J. Stroud has done and reclaiming his spot atop the peak of Mahomes Mountain, after Brew's very eloquent pleadings last week that he needed to be atop his namesake mountain, is Patrick Mahomes. All the more impressive because Brew's been telling me he's throwing to guys from the local YMCA, and yet the team is third in passing yards and first in the conference. That is this week's
Just excellent.
Mahomes Mountain. Coach, are you shaking your head like in pride? Like this is so great. I'm so happy that Nick finally got it.
I mean, I like the C.J. Stroud. I like the Dobbs.
It's a lot of green,
There's a lot of things I like, but Nick, you're burrowing once again further away from reality.
Why?
And Joe Burrow, it is. Joe Burrow should be on top of the mountain.
Wow, that's a fair point.
Let's just look at this objectively, and I know that's hard for you to do. So Patrick Mahomes scores 14 points against the 25th best scoring defense. Burrow scores 24 points against the third best scoring defense.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes has his worst passing yards of the season. Joe Burrow has his best passing yards of the season.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes can't score for the second week in a row in the second half. They get 48 total yards of offense in the second half.
That was weird.
And somehow he ends up on top of the mountain. And I know that you feel badly if he's not on top of the mountain.
No, that's not true.
So what I've done is I've created something like they have in youth sports, and we're going to give you this special Patrick participation trophy so that you can feel good now that he's moved off the mountain, so that nobody has any hurt feelings, and you can still take your bows, and everybody's satisfied. Go put your little trophy on the mantle, but let's put the right person on top of the mountain.
Okay, so two things. One is professional, one is not. The professional one, which is about the mountain, is if you would like the latest, quarterback performance of the week, just go to NFL.com and they do it. They do it.
How about the week before?
Well, that's fine. But it's, Coach, are we in week 1? Are we in week 2? No, we are in week 10. And so the idea that Joe Burrow, who while he has been brilliant, the week before, by the way, he was on a bye, but he has been brilliant the last month of football, he does not have the body of work for the season to be at the top of the mountain. The other thing is this, and this is not a professional part, and maybe this is me being a bad teammate, but I'm going to be totally honest. About a year ago, Coach and I were hanging out, I was talking. I was like, hey, Coach, you know what? You can be meaner to me on the air. I think it'll be good. Coach, too coachable. And at this point, taking it too far. I'm just constantly having my feelings hurt. Just making Patrick Mahomes participation trophy, just openly mocking me. You took the coaching point far too well.
You got to be careful with how you emphasize coaching points.
I got to tell you, you really took it to heart.
Wow. That is
Coach,
good feedback.
I love it. I love that you followed that feedback.
I did.
All right, look, I love C.J. Stroud. I did say I like him better than Bryce Young going into that draft. But in the words of Kevin Durant, it's too soon, bro. It's too soon, bro. All right, move C.J. down. Jalen Hurts, Nick, this is a catastrophe that you have him that low down on your mountain. The only two quarterbacks who should definitively be ahead of him are Mahomes and Burrow. Now, we can argue Lamar, but he's got to move up. Hurts has got to move up. The last 3 games, 10 touchdowns total, 8 passing, 2 rushing, and 1 interception. All right, all this talk about his turnovers. Here's the other thing, Nick. He is second in the league in total touchdowns. If you combine the passing 15, the rushing 7, he's second in the league in total touchdowns. He obviously has the great leadership, as a lot of these guys at the top of the mountain do. Jalen Hurts, I am shocked. And appalled that you have moved him down. How in the world Dak Prescott?
I thought Dak was better.
Dak was fine, but to your own points, Sam Howell and everybody else throws well against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is playing terrific, lights out football on and off the field. Move him up.
What, Sam? I'm talking about Sam Howell.
Just real quick, before you get to Sam Howell, Sam Howell's played quite well. Listen, I am not trying to punish Hurts, and I do not want people to think I'm anti-Jalen Hurts, because I'm not. I've been wildly impressed by not only how he's carried himself. I think he took where the best passing game of his career was the Super Bowl, and he got it built upon that this year to where he became more of a high-volume, deep downfield. He was always already good at downfield passer, but the yards per game, all of that stuff improved. However, the mistakes improved as well, and now we saw, and maybe it's because he's hurt, and I give him credit for playing through the injury. I thought on Sunday Dak was clearly better, and so that's where it is.
But again, one game.
It was one game. It was head-to-head. It's fair.
What was it he told you, Coach?
No, but Dak
if you want to go week by week, you got to look at it this way.
Yes, but that
just
is,
move the
yes,
goalpost.
but that is because Burrow had 5 weeks of
No,
bad
I'm talking
football.
about,
I understand, but
Dak.
the coach had that. I think Dak's been playing well all year, except for the Niners game. And Jalen has a game like the Niners game, the Jets game with the 3 turnovers. Go ahead, Wilds.
I didn't like the shot you took at Sam Howell.
I didn't either.
So
Wilds, you know what?
I didn't know that was your beef.
Yeah.
Well,
with the Mountain.
Here's
I'm
the thing
sorry
with the
about
Mountain.
that.
I like to compare my guy, Sam Howell, to the Mountain namesake, Patrick Mahomes. So a lot of people are asking, what's wrong with Mahomes? You think it's because he doesn't have enough wide receivers.
Right.
Well, here's Patrick Mahomes with and without Eric Bieniemy. Everything is down, right? So where did Eric Bieniemy go? Well, he went to the Commanders, and now he's got Sam Howell as a quarterback. Let's look at total yards this season.
Pass yards.
Number 1, yes, sorry. Howell, number 2.
That's why.
Ahead of Mahomes, ahead of Josh Allen, ahead of Jalen Hurts. Again, Jalen's got all those rushing yards too, but that's just straight passing numbers. And I know everyone's like, well, you're too early. That's kind of like, you had that take that you were high on Sam Howell. Here's what Jonathan Allen said. We found our next quarterback for 5-10 years. I truly believe that. I've seen a lot of great quarterbacks in my time, played against a lot of them. He has the potential to be one of them. He kind of dialed it back a little bit at the end. Either way, I just want to put everybody on Sam Howell alert. I haven't been doing it loudly enough.
All right, just if I may quickly.
I also baked in a Bieniemy take there.
And by the way, it's a good Bieniemy take. And Sam Howell being second in the league in passing yards is one of the more shocking stats up to this point in the season. Should be noted that I do believe is the same Jonathan Allen that 1 week ago was standing in front of his locker, basically questioning whether or not he wanted to continue playing football because all the Commanders have done is lose. Sam Howell
until he saw Sam Howell.
Well, I mean,
that's a guy I can follow.
Sam Howell's been the quarterback there all year.
But now
so he saw it. And so I mean, there is take that with a bit of a grain of salt. But I do think if Eric Bieniemy's reason for leaving Kansas City, that everyone said, was he had to prove he could have success in a passing offense outside of Kansas City, Sam Howell being number 2 passer in the league, and Patrick Mahomes having statistically the worst year of his career, should put Eric Bieniemy back on the front page of the coaching search this coming offseason. That part I totally agree with.
That's a great take. Coming up next.
I'm giving you.
I know, but you did a good job. Okay. Zach Wilson, the reason the Jets are struggling.
A snowball fight.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.